everybody, so my name is Alanis, my YouTube is Sunshinenubi, and I created this channel because I wanted to share my stories and testimonies with you guys, and here is one. So today I'm going to talk about how I found out I was pregnant and my mom's reaction to it and how I told her and everything like that. By the end of May I was already 4 weeks. And so around the same time I was having no symptoms, my mom ended up having a heart attack, and that made the situation
so much worse.
I'm gonna get into that later. But yeah, so actually that kind of comes in right now. But what had happened was I was down here, you know, in my college town where I live in Ypsilanti, and I had about a week to go to Ohio to work for the summer. Around the time where it's time for me to go, like the day before I have to go, my mom calls me. She's like, you know, Alanis, you know, I just had a heart attack, you know, crying on the phone. And I'm like, what? Like, mind you, my mom is in her 30s, so I'm definitely like, a heart attack, like what? You know, she's been in a hospital before, like, you know, that's nothing new, but a whole heart attack, you know, she was in a hospital about a week, and then I was in a hospital with her for about a week. And while we were in the hospital, you know, the symptoms of my pregnancy began. So I was sleeping in the hospital like all day, every day, all while I was in there. And I was eating all day, every day. And my breasts were hurting and everything like that. Like, not hurting, but they were sore. And so I'm like, oh, well, you know, my period's just gonna come on. Like, that's all it is, really. You know, no, that's what I was thinking, hoping. I was sleeping in a chair next to her in a hospital bed, really like whole ass laid out, tired, sleeping throughout the day. But she was also sleeping throughout the day because she just had a heart attack. So just like, you know, just kind of peeping it, but not really saying, like, you know, asking no questions. So when we got out the hospital and she came home, the same things were happening. You know, I was at her home with her, and I stayed with her for a few more days before I left for Ohio. You know, and I was just sleepy, so sleepy and so emotional, and my breasts were so sore. You know, I'm complaining and everything like that, but I'm like, oh, you know, it's just my period gonna come on. And then she was like, you know, she asked me, have you gotten your period yet? And I'm like, no, I got a couple days for it to come. And she was like, oh, okay, or whatever like that. So the day I leave for Ohio, or the day after I arrive in Ohio, I go get a pregnancy test, because at this point I'm like, okay, my period ain't came, I'm having these symptoms, like I don't got time for the games, like what's going on? And so I go to the Family Dollar around the corner from where I lived in Ohio, and of course, you know, I go to the bathroom and you know, I pee on a stick and everything like that, and they come back positive, and I'm like, whoa, like this is wild. Like I was really like scared, like oh my gosh. I took 5,000 double takes, like, you know, what is going on, like shocked, completely shocked. I really did not know what to do. I was like, wow, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? You know, I'm 4 hours away down there in Ohio by myself. You know, I'm living with roommates and everything like that. Like, okay, this is gonna be interesting. So I'm just thinking like, oh, I gotta tell my mom, and I gotta, you know, just thinking about everything that comes with it. So actually that same day my mom called me, and she's like, you know, Alanis, have you gotten your period yet? And I'm like, no. You know, she actually like, are you pregnant? Like, what's going on? You know, I'm like, no, I'm not pregnant. I don't think I'm pregnant. Yeah, I don't know, but I'll go get a pregnancy test tomorrow to see. Mind you, I had already taken a pregnancy test. I was just scared to tell her at that point in time. So, because she called me the same day, like, you know what I'm saying? So then, you know, I went to go get another pregnancy test the next day. And of course, that one came back positive. And actually, I went to go get a more accurate pregnancy test. Like the one I got before was a Family Dollar brand, and then the second one I got was EPT, and it was, I guess, more brand name. So that's the one I got. And so that was my second one. I'm like, okay, just in case, like, let me, you know, invest in a good pregnancy test to make sure. So I got this pregnancy test, and I take it again. Of course, it comes back positive. And so I think a couple days later my mom called me, because of course I didn't call her, I was scared. And she asked me like, you know, what's going on? Have you gotten your period yet? Blah, 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 blah. And I told her like, yeah, I'm pregnant and everything like that. And you know, I was really expecting her to be so angry and so mad and to really like fight me in the streets. Like I was really expecting like backhanding, like all of that. No, so she was pretty calm. Like I don't remember exactly how this conversation went, but I know I remember her saying like she was disappointed in me for the most part. Like she wasn't angry. She was like, you're 19, you know, that's not too young. I mean, because you know where I'm coming from, it's girls like, you know, younger than me, having babies and everything like that, and I'm in college and everything. But she was saying like she's disappointed in me, you know, and she's just disappointed generally because she didn't want me to end up in the same situation as her. She wanted me to be better. She wanted me to have a husband, you know, a family, and kind of settle down and, you know, finish my groundwork before I had kids or whatever. You know, which is understandable because at the time I was 19 and I'm still, you know, in college. Like this is my junior year and I'm just now entering my junior year, so I have 2 more years of college left. So it's just a hard situation. She wasn't like angry like she said, and I could, you know, I could tell because she didn't yell at me or anything. She was just like, how, why, you know, I'm disappointed. You know, I thought you were more responsible than that, you know, everything like that. And so, you know, me, of course, I'm crying over the phone. I'm emotional. I'm pregnant. That's life changing. Like I'm crying to my mom, and I'm just like, you know, I know, I don't know, you know, like I don't know what to do and everything like that. And so a couple days later, she, you know, she's not the type of person to be like, oh, you know, you're gonna get an abortion, like this cannot happen, like go get rid of that. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't believe in abortion. And so, you know, she asked me, I guess because she thought, you know, it was up to me, and of course it is, but she asked me like, you know, what do you plan on doing? Are you gonna keep it? Are you gonna, you know, not keep it? Like what's going on? And then me, I knew immediately what I wanted to do. You know, of course I was 100%, but I knew for sure like I wanted to keep my baby. Like, you know, it wasn't a lot of thought that went into it. Like, yes, I was so scared and I cried a lot in the beginning, but yeah, it was for the most part, like, you know, I told her like, yeah, I want to keep my baby. She was like, are you sure? You know, and she asked me another time again, are you sure? Like, you know, I don't want to persuade your decision, but kind of giving me like, if you do keep it, blah, 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 blah. If you don't keep it, it'll be okay. I'll be here for you. I'll support you, everything like that. You know, going both ways. So, you know, she was very supportive. And, you know, like I said, like she was a young mom. You know, she had her first child at 15. She had 6 kids before she was 23. So it's like, you know, we're similar, like a lot of you that may be watching this video and got young moms. And that's what scared me the most, is because my mom was a young mom, and so it's just like, oh, like, you know, telling her that, like, I know how disappointing that is because she has to go through it. You know, how is this gonna go? How is this gonna affect my life? You know, I'm just thinking about it, like, really, like, scared. And so, you know, of course, for the summer, I'm working with kids. And so one day, you know, I'm over there by the kiddie pool, you know, watching the babies, and I'm just like, wow, like, you know, why am I so worried? Like, kids are a blessing, you know what I'm saying? I'm just looking at the kids like, wow, like they're so beautiful. I just felt this wave of like positive energy, this wave of calmness just like come over me. And, you know, immediately I'm like, why am I so worried? Why am I so scared? Like, you know, this is a blessing. Like, kids are a blessing, babies are a blessing, you know, and this is God's blessing, to be more specific. And so after that day, I've never cried about my pregnancy. And that was really early on. That was like when I was still like 5 weeks. And after that day, I didn't cry about my pregnancy not one time. I wasn't worried about my pregnancy not one time. It was just really, I've just been calm since that day. And I really feel like that was because of God's presence, you know, over me, and kind of giving me that, like, that calm heart, like, this, you know, is gonna be okay. You do not have to be worried. I got you, you know. And that's how I felt, and that's still how I feel to this day. I was gonna be embarrassed to tell everybody, and I didn't want to tell anybody. And, you know, that was one of my main concerns. And then also, like, I have, you know, 4 younger brothers and sisters, and I was like, wow, like, you know, kind of, you know, example in my setting by being in this predicament and everything like that. So it was just a lot of stuff that I was worried about, a lot of stuff that crossed my mind, like, even remembering like, oh wow, like I am still a college student, like what am I gonna do about school and everything like that. But of course I'm in school now, and I'm gonna make a video about that later, like being in college and pregnant and everything and how that's going. But yeah, I decided to keep going to school, and it's been very cool so far. You know, if anybody's looking for advice on like, you know, how to tell your mother, you know, I had to tell mine over the phone, but if I had the choice, you know, I would of course tell mine in person. And do not wait all these months. You know, don't wait 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months before you tell your mom, because you know, if she's your main support system now, she's going to continue to be afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there's going to be a change, but she's not going to back out on you, you know. And I can't guarantee that for everybody, mama, but most likely I've never heard a story, you know, where, you know, a girl told their mom, you know, she was pregnant, and then the mama ran out on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I've heard plenty of stories of when, you know, young girls tell their mom they're pregnant, and you know, of course the mom is angry and everything like that, but after that, like, the mama come around, the mama is there, like, that's your biggest supporter, and that's gonna be your biggest supporter, you know. So just, you know, hash it out, bash it out. Of course, wait until you're ready to tell her, but you don't have to wait 2, 4, 5, 6, you know, months, everything like that, to tell your mom you're pregnant or dad. I didn't tell my dad until I was low-key 5 months. Like, when I was like about 20 weeks is when my dad found out, but that's because, you know. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this story. Let me know if you have any suggestions or more videos you would like me to do. Subscribe below, hit the like button, and I hope to see you guys again.